Choose internet slop. Internet slop is better. Donald Trump is a dictator. He's a dictator. He's a dick, and a dictator. Donald Trump is 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 a dick-hater. Donald Trump is a bit later. Donald Trump is a really dumb guy. Don't ask why. He loves Epstein. How's it going, guys? Make sure you drop a like. You join Discord? Even the disagreements are civil? Oh wait, I'm trying to put a I tried to put an Instagram story up. All right, link. Thank you. Thank you for liking the stream. I have one more link to put up. My vocal warm-up routine. You need one of those. I do need one of those, to be honest. It's not even a joke. It's really useful. Wait, where's my stream at right now? I'm trying to find my stream so I can put it on my Instagram. Ha ha ha, Ronald Reagan. Shout out to my boy Ronald Reagan, dude. Shout out to my boy Ronald Reagan.
Let me just say, Mr. President, that this country was going to die without you. This country was going to actually die without you. That's what we were facing in 2024. We've been invaded for 4 years.
This country was literally going to die without you.
Our public safety had gone to zero. Cartels were running entire communities. Sex trafficking, child trafficking, labor trafficking was out of control. Overdoses were out of control. The cartels were claiming more and more territory.
They were claiming more and more territory, for real. On God. Shut up, Joel. I gotta put something on. Is this a Trump bashing channel? I think my new response is gonna be, like, I can't be mad. I can't be mad about children being bad boys.
This week's
like
social story, that's where we post 3 stories on our social media and let you pick one for us to take a deeper dive into. This week's choices: who has a chance to win the World Series, demolition beginning at the White House to make way for a ballroom, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries endorsing Zohran Mamdani for New York mayor. And with 60% of the vote, you chose the controversial renovations at the White House. President Donald Trump is adding a $300 million ballroom, but that plan coming at the cost of the historic East Wing. Here to talk about the backlash, Trump administration's reaction, and historical context of it all, political contributor and presidential historian Mark Updegrove. Mark, always love having you on. You know, the Trump administration continues to say and double down that renovating or even demolishing parts of the White House, none of this is new. But how is this renovation different than those from U.S. presidents in the past?
You know, it's the sheer scale of what's happening. And you know, we're used to adding things to the West, but we're not used to taking things away, particularly something as historic as the East Wing of the White House, which was built in 1902, added to in the 1940s, and has been the home to first ladies, or at least the suite of offices that first ladies use since Rosalind Carter. So it's been a really important component.
Are there any actual laws about White House grounds? Like, is there a law saying like what they can do to White House grounds if they have to get approval for stuff, or what? Man dressed as a Nazi. I did see that. Man dressed as a Nazi. He like beat up a girl. Kyle sent me that link. Somewhere in Georgia. I want to talk about the Donald Trump tariff thing with yeah, the Donald Trump tariff thing with Canada. Kind of crazy. But here's an example of the racial profiling that we talk about. It's not going to be that big. So you need to imagine that you have federal agents standing outside of every store, and they see someone who's not white, pretty much. You're not white. You might have an accent. You might speak another language. Maybe you're bilingual and you speak Spanish for a second. And you have these federal agents, okay, unidentified, walking around, walking up to random brown people. Were you born here? Were you born here? All right? Masking on. They are not in a war zone. Okay, they are not going after cartels. They're standing outside of Wally World, bro. They're outside of Wally World, and they're asking every brown person they see, were you born here? So now if you're brown in America, it's required for you to carry your paperwork, okay? Because racial profiling is encouraged by ICE. They shut down units going after child trafficking and drug trafficking, and they're going after people walking into Walmart and working day labor instead. They're going after regular old people trying to work to make a living, people going throughout their day, American citizens, legal immigrants, non-citizens, you know, every person they can find, they can profile, they will go after. We don't want this in America, I'm telling you. Were you born here, ma'am? Were you born here? What country were you born in? Were you born here? Were you born here? Bro, you don't get to ask me that. I'm in America. Unidentified federal thugs are not allowed to pull me over when I'm walking into Walmart to question if I'm born here or for my papers or to just randomly profile. Like, it's America.
What country were you born in?
What country were you born in again? Like, it's just crazy to think that so many people see this and they're okay with it. You know, you see this in Russia, you see this in China, you see this in all these terrible authoritarian countries. I don't want this shit in America. I don't want it in America. And you should not want it in America either. Because the same unidentified federal agent who's asking here for her citizenship, where she's born, will be asking you a different question the government wants to nail you on. If we let this infringement on freedom fall here with immigration, they will expand that infringement to every other area you can imagine. And I'm looking at my Second Amendment people. I'm looking at my First Amendment people. I'm looking at my pro-Constitution anybody. This will be happening to all of us if we don't draw the line here and say this is not acceptable. That's a huge point we need to keep on focusing on. Yo, can you guys see me again? The stream should be back. The stream should be back. I hit the button by accident. My bad. Whoopsies. I hit the stream button instead of the button to... Yeah, my bad. My bad. I meant to hit the clip button. Okay, so here's another fun one. So Canada used the words of Ronald Reagan on a big advertisement, I believe during the World Series, because it's Blue Jays versus, is it Dodgers? So they used this Ronald Reagan ad for Ontario, where Reagan talks about how much he hates tariffs. Okay, if a Trump supporter knew what Reagan said about tariffs and immigration and trade, they would hate Ronald Reagan. They would realize Donald Trump is not a conservative. He is a very far-right person compared to Ronald Reagan. He's not even on the spectrum. Okay, Ronald Reagan was very anti-tariff. Now, I'm going to show you this commercial here they put up, but look at Trump's response. So Canada was caught red-handed putting up a fraudulent advertisement on Ronald Reagan's speech on tariffs. Bro, this guy's brain dead. His brain is mush. He's a dumbass. He's pathetic. And even if, these are Reagan's actual words, but he thinks it's fake. Trump thinks it's fake. And in response, he's putting a 10% tariff on Canada, which means a 10% import tax on Americans. So Trump is too brain dead to know this Reagan speech was real and Reagan hated tariffs. And in response, he's saying he caught Canada, and he caught Canada, so he's going to punish Canada by taxing Americans. Now, this 10% tax he wants to put on Canada based off his emotions, that's tyranny, by the way. Congress should be making that decision, but Congress are little lapdogs on their knee pads for Donald Trump 24/7. But this 10% tariff he wants to put on Canada, it's an import tax on us. That is $50 billion per year in new taxes for American citizens. $50 billion per year. Because Trump is too stupid to know Reagan actually hated tariffs. And Trump is like, oh, we caught you red-handed. So here's the advertisement. Here's the commercial.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time.
Yeah, and they take different sound bites from Reagan's initial talk, but Reagan did speak very strongly against tariffs. So did Bush. So did pretty much every political party. And by the way, tariffs can be used in a very small way. It can be used in a very small way, in a very slight way, but it's really like an add-on to actual policy. Tariffs are an easy fake policy that don't do that. It doesn't do that much. It does not do that much, okay? But like, this is one thing where during the Great Depression, tariffs made the Great Depression worse. Countries that do huge tariffs like India suffer economically from tariffs. There is no example in human history, and I know people don't have time to look this stuff up. There is no example of tariffs being beneficial for a nation. Okay, there is industrial policy that works that might include tariffs, but the way Trump uses it, Democrats and Republicans, conservatives, liberals, libertarians, socialists, every ideology knew they all know that it's really dumb. These tariffs are stupid. And all the Republicans know it in the party, but Trump likes it. And Trump is their daddy cult leader, so they need to follow him. But here's Reagan's whole thing.
Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works.
It's an emotional
but only
policy.
For a short time.
It's all emotional.
What eventually
logic.
occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on...
I'm sorry, but also, the Trump government finally turned back tariffs on things that cannot be made in America. So for the first 9 months, everyone said to the Trump team, like, you guys are the dumbest assholes on the planet. We cannot, like, for example, coffee. Why are we tariffing coffee? We scientifically cannot make coffee in America. Maybe in Hawaii a little bit, but that will cover like 0.01% of our coffee supply. We need coffee to be imported. Why are we tariffing coffee if the argument is we want to bring industry back to America? Finally now, a few weeks ago, I think like 1 week ago, Trump and his dumbass, his gang of dummies, they're finally rolling back those tariffs. So if there's something America cannot produce in America, they are no longer tariffing those goods. Finally, after 10 months, 11 months, they understand one basic tenet of how this works. But it's just hilarious, bro. It's hilarious.
Something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering
American soybean farmers are falling apart right now. American soybean farmers are taking the full brunt of
of
it.
fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity.
You can do some protectionism too in tariffs. You can do some. But like what Reagan just said there is a true economic point, where if you have less units, like overall economic units, you have less units coming in through trade. We will have less jobs in America. It's not as simple as we cut out all imports and exports and we just live as Americans and we don't work with other countries. If America did not have trade at all, and you can criticize trade deals in different ways, but if America did not have trade, we'd have less jobs and less pay and a lesser quality of life. Our collaboration maximizes efficiency between countries. Okay, we do things that we are good at. Other countries do good things they're good at, and we trade with each other. It's called comparative advantage. And that, whatever country has the advantage usually produces more of that said good. Now you can argue again, America should have more of some type of production, but an all-out attempt to bring all production of every product of any kind of material back to America is very dumb. It's not possible. And also it would make the economy smaller. It would lessen jobs. It's hard to explain this though. Like if you try to tell people that more immigration makes higher wages for Americans because we have more economic production and more efficiency, and therefore there's more money to go around for higher level jobs for Americans. It doesn't sound good for their emotional state. But the whole Trump idea is built off of emotions. They're screwing us over. Tariff them. The illegals get them out. We gotta send the military in. I saw someone litter. Send the military. We gotta nuke them. It's like it's all emotional politics. If you try to bring up logic in these conversations, they'll be like, how dare you? How dare you? It's just like, dude, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, Trump is mad about this. He's taxing Americans as a result. He's a whiny, petulant baby. And yeah, Congress is letting him do tyranny here, okay? In this regard, he is already a dictator. When it comes to tariffs, he's already a dictator. And that's one more point I want to pound home really quick before I take a call. I'll take some calls in a second if you're trying to call in. Someone who wants to be an authoritarian or a dictator eventually, they don't just become a dictator. They don't just say, hey guys, I'm officially the dictator. Okay, I am the dictator tot. I am going to be leading everything now. They don't say that. They do things piece by piece to disconnect a democratic function from what they do, and all checks and balances. So with tariffs, Trump has gotten our Congress to vacate their responsibility to do taxation and tariffs and protectionist policies, like through laws that Congress passes. So they're letting Trump be a tyrant here. Now, as Congress and the courts, the Republican courts, give Trump more and more power, he'll keep on biting away at things. So when you see this happen, when Trump is cutting $27 billion from Democratic states, but only $1 billion from red states because he wants to target his political opponents. When he's directing the DOJ to make up false charges against his political opponents. When he's using tariffs when he's mad at Canada for correctly referencing Ronald Reagan's own words. Those are all forms where Trump is effectively a pure dictator at this point, a pure totalitarian. He has full control there. And he'll keep on trying to get more aspects of society and of governmental power on his side that he could do by himself unilaterally with no checks or balances. It happens slowly. It's a slow. They peel away over time. They peel away all this stuff over time. But yeah, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me for this live stream. We'll take some callers if you want. The phone lines are open. I'm going to go through Twitter and see if there's anything fun.
Mamdani, despite the criticism from Cuomo, is still polling. Mamdani, despite the criticism from Cuomo, is still polling with about 30% of Jewish voters in the city. So there is a bit of a split happening here. It's clearly
Mamdani got more Jewish voters than Cuomo, I'm pretty sure. And by the way, the Cuomo campaign and all his allies are just blaming Mamdani for 9/11, bro. Like, their final attempt to beat Mamdani is to blame him for 9/11. It's not even a joke. It's not even a damn joke, bro. It's not even a joke. Just literally, he's Muslim. They're calling him a jihadist. They're saying he wants a violent revolution. They're saying he cheered on 9/11 and wants another 9/11. Like that is literally their final pitch to voters. And you listen to Mamdani speak, and people say he's a vicious anti-Semite. And you ask them, what did he say that's anti-Semitic? Okay, we can have debates about that for sure. I'm open to hearing things. I'm open to hearing arguments. And they're like, oh, he's anti-Israel. So you cannot be against the state of Israel without you being anti-Semitic? Because I know a lot of young Jewish people who are anti-Israel. Are they anti-Semitic? But I know I've seen non-Jewish people who are very conservative, who are pro-Israel, call young Jewish people who are anti-Israel fake Jews. Trump called them fake Jews. And he called Chuck Schumer, who's very pro-Israel, Palestinian as a slur, a Jewish guy, a Jewish man. Like, it's insane. And yeah, blame Mamdani for 9/11. Great political strategy, dude.
really not a universal view that he can't gain the support of some Jewish voters, although a majority are with Cuomo.
Yeah, and you know, there are very liberal Jewish voters in New York City, that's for sure. You know, look, I think that Cuomo's best vector is the experience vector. But it is true.
All the
Mamdani,
assaults, yeah, and corruption.
He's allied himself with certain people. A lot of the people that surround him, the people involved in this Democratic Socialist organization, I mean, they have said more than a handful of eyebrow-raising things when it comes.
Yeah, and Trump had dinner with Nick Fuentes, and Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon are top leaders in the MAGA movement, literal white supremacist, self-proclaimed, self-identified white supremacist. And yeah, we can't talk about that.
Comes to their views of America, their views of Jewish people, and so on and so forth. He knows that. He does align himself with them. He doesn't really distance himself. Today he has this press conference. I watched a chunk of it. I didn't hear any words for the victims of 9/11, but he found the real victim, his aunt.
Is he?
You know, I mean, the victims of 9/11.
The whole point is they brought up 9/11, and they are exploiting the death of all those innocent people and all those first responders, which, by the way, a lot of Muslims were instrumental in helping people after 9/11 and during the crisis, helping people on the ground in New York City. They are sharing, Cuomo and Trumpers and all these different people are sharing images of 9/11 and blaming Zoran Mamdani for it. Blaming Zoran for it. So we all agree 9/11 was terrible. Zoran agrees. Okay, so when he goes public and he has this talk today about how Muslims are treated in America, how it's okay to be openly bigoted towards Muslims in America. When he talks about that, of course the point is going to be what we don't agree on. So we agree 9/11 is bad. You want to weaponize 9/11 politically and attack Zoran Mamdani, his ethnicity, his faith, his whatever, okay? You want to do that. You want to weaponize it. So when he talks, we know 9/11 is bad. What we don't agree on is that using 9/11 as a political ploy is bad. You want to use it as a political ploy. We don't. Zoran does not. We don't agree that Islamophobia or hating Muslims, not even Islamophobia, hating Muslims is bad, okay? We think it's bad. We agree it's bad. You don't. And that includes many Democrats. Gillibrand, Schumer, all these, the top Democrats in the Senate, pretty much calling Zoran a jihadist. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
11 were in the Twin Towers.
I mean,
Those were the victims.
Is the implication here that he has to answer for the terrorists who attacked 9/11?
No, I think if you're going to have if you're going to run for mayor of New York City, or have any position in New York City, and you're going to talk about 9/11 or invoke 9/11, you darn sure better start with the people who died in the Twin Towers. That's what I think. And he didn't do that. And he kind of, you know, he made it about his experience and his aunt and all this. My advice would be, if you're going to want to be the mayor of this town, and by the way, he's probably going to win, that moment in our history, you cannot lose sight of what happened.
By the way, on 9/11, or wait, a couple weeks after, Donald Trump this year said, for the first time ever, that he warned everyone about Osama bin Laden, and he predicted 9/11, and he could have stopped it. I don't know. Again, it's not Zoran's job to We all agree that's bad. So he was talking about Muslims being targeted in New York City, okay, and in America. That was the main point. But Trump the last time Trump talked about 9/11, he was saying that he could have like he is Homelander, he's superhero. He could have saved the day, dude. He knew it was gonna happen. How did you, just like with Charlie Kirk when Trump said Charlie couldn't believe how quick I moved my head. Trump said this, and I saved myself. He said Charlie couldn't do the same. It's like Trump has said the most outrageous, disrespectful shit. Did I say outrageous? The most outrageous, disrespectful shit of all time, bro. Like,
people died in those Twin Towers. They did not deserve to die. We did suffer a terrorist attack, and we can't really forget the moment making it about him and his family. Okay, there were almost 3,000 people that died there. It's a big deal.
Yep.
it's just crazy too. Because again, I'll say it one more time. Zohran Mamdani did not bring up 9/11. It is October 25th, October 26th, okay? They brought up 9/11 to blame Zohran Mamdani for it, to blame all Muslims for it, okay? They brought it up to call him a jihadist, to say he's going to cause another one, and he's going to not only cause another 9/11, he's going to celebrate it. They brought it up. So in reference to 9/11, he was talking about their attacks, all right, on him and on people that look like him, that worship like him. And on religious freedoms in America and freedom from persecution. Like, that is the whole thing here. But of course, they want to be obtuse and act like, oh, I don't even know what's going on. Like, the way they talk is so low IQ. It's just crazy, bro. All right. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Trump can play dirtier than... Dude.
Dirty's airing it. Canada, that's why I pulled everything. With Canada... They did a crooked ad. They knew it was Ronald Reagan loves tariffs.
Reagan hated tariffs.
What they did is really dishonest. And I heard they were pulling the ad. I didn't know they were putting it on a little bit more. They could have pulled it tonight. Well, that's dirty playing. But
don't pull the ad. We can't abandon basic truth. Okay, dude. I guarantee you. I bet any money that when I talk to a Trumper and I say that Trump is lying about this shit and he's going to tax Americans $50 billion more as a result of him lying about Ronald Reagan, hating or loving tariffs, and him being mad that Canada used Ronald Reagan's words in this advertisement, like, they are going to say, I mean, Trump says things, bro. Like, he says things, dude. Like, Trump says things, bro. They're going to play dumb. Guarantee you. Trump does say things. He does indeed say things. All right, call in. The phone number is open. These little... All right, I'm looking at the chat. Knee pad squad. The knee pads are coming out. Bernie said, Bernie. Bernie said, if you don't have borders, you don't have a nation.
If you don't have any borders, then you don't have a nation.
Whoa. Chill. Yeah, so Bernie... Bernie copies Donald Trump, and Bernie always was pretty right-wing on immigration. Unions were always right-wing on immigration because they believed immigrants came in to replace the workers in America. So Bernie always was pretty anti-immigrant, kind of nativist. Not racist, but definitely the populism crept in here. But Bernie's going to pretty much say...
Then you don't have a nation, right? In a sense. So has historically the United States done well on the Democrats and Republicans in protecting the border? The answer is no. Trump did a better job. I don't like Trump, but we should have a secure border. And it ain't that hard to do. Biden didn't do it. Those before him did not do it. We should have a secure border, period. If you don't...
It's just like Obama's border policies were extremely, harsh. So were Trump, number one. Biden did a bunch of deportations, but he loosened up he followed the asylum process in a different way. And we had a labor shortage in America after the pandemic. But, the whole thing about if you don't have borders, you don't have a nation. I don't like that dog whistle. I don't like it at all. It's not good. It doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of an emotional point, which you can do that in politics. And Democrats should have been more vocal on the border to destroy Trump's campaign line, you know? And Democrats tried passing a policy to actually change immigration law. Trump has never even tried that because he doesn't care. Like, name one time Trump talked about legal immigration in America and how to make it better. No, he just talks about how immigrants are poisoning the blood of America and evil criminals and whatever. So yeah, I don't like him borrowing the phrase here. The big issue with Trump on immigration is that he makes Trump does not talk about the legal aspect to immigration ever. He never does that. He never talks about improving it, making it better. He never talks about the actual issues. He shares pictures of scary-looking brown people, and he tells white women in suburbs, "You are going to be assaulted by these evil, disgusting terrorists coming into America. They are going to take your kids and your wives and your daughters. You know, all the things you hold dear. They're going to take your entire country over. They're invading us. They're extremely dangerous." And that leads to what I see a lot, where someone comes here from, you know, Puerto Rico, for example. Look at Bad Bunny. Every Trump supporter I know is calling Bad Bunny a foreigner, and Bad Bunny is an American. But because Trump tied immigration to being an evil terrorist, and then to being brown and scary, and then speaking Spanish and hating America, people group all those things together. So they see someone who's not white in America, and they assume that person doesn't belong here. And you can talk forcefully on the border and not make it about scary brown people coming to terrorize white suburbs, and not make it about a bunch of lies about Haitian immigrants eating cats and dogs and being savages. It's like I said before, too, like Ronald Reagan, the way he spoke about immigration compared to Trump, Ronald Reagan today would be called a liberal cuck. The way Reagan spoke about immigration. 100% would be called a liberal cuck. 100 freaking percent. Because according to Trump, immigrants are the source of all evil. It's not a legal issue. It's not an issue of like, oh, maybe too many people came over. It's an issue of they are an existential threat to this country. They are evil demons. And we can't let them in because they are going to destroy us they're the enemy within. You know, that's totally different from immigration policy. Because even if you said there were too many people coming across the border, which is a position you can have, that doesn't mean the people coming over are terrorists or devils or this evil being that we need to stop by any means necessary, which is what they want people to think. Bad Bunny is destroying America, for real, for real. Yeah.
See a lot of change. So I kind of just don't see a lot of change between, you know, the Biden administration and now the Trump one in foreign policy. You know, we're still giving a shit ton of money to like Israel and Ukraine. Nothing is happening. You know, the war's not stopped. He promised it'd be done in a day, and it's, I don't know, how many months? 8 months or something like that. It's a long time. Your dad was in the CIA.
7 million old white people gather across.
Jesus.
Does our government even want war to stop? Do they want?
This guy just said how Tucker Carlson's dad was CIA. His dad was in the CIA. Interesting.
It's a long time. Your dad was in the CIA. And I was wondering, does our government even want war to stop? Do they want conflicts to end? It seems like we have a difference of interests where we're getting told one thing and the other is happening. And I feel like
he has the full Nike tech suit on, bro.
Not enough communication between different sects of government. And I really think the deep state's controlling everything and we have no control.
The deep state.
Well, let me start at, you know, obviously you probably sense that I agree with a lot of that. Obviously leave my father out of it. I'm gonna have to kick your ass, which I could do, by the way, if you bring him up again, because he was a wonderful man, whatever, you know, he did for a living. So I really do hate that.
Aw, poor Tucky. Okay, so no one's calling in, guys, so I'm gonna keep on doing reactions. Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani and Muslim, okay, which is what Ben Shapiro really hates, was on Andrew Schultz's podcast, and they had a great time. Zoran's a funny guy. He's charismatic. They really enjoyed him. And Ben Shapiro is pissed. He says, this is how conservatism gets corrupted.
You've got the smarmy smiling. And again, it's until the pod bro's joking with my, oh, he's so hilarious. Oh.
Sorry, let me reset that.
You've got the smarmy smile, and again, it's all the pod bros joking with my, oh, he's so hilarious. Oh, he's so charming. Oh, I know there are a lot of Republicans.
Oh, he's mad, bro. He's mad.
Are then rooting for the socialists to take over the Democratic Party. I do not. I've been saying this since 2020 at the very latest, when Bernie Sanders was running against Joe Biden. What I said in 2020 was that I preferred Joe Biden to be the nominee rather than Bernie Sanders, even if Bernie was more likely to lose to Donald Trump. Why? Because the risk factor in having a socialist leader was higher than the risk factor in having a dead leader like Joe Biden. That even if Joe Biden had slightly higher odds to win the presidency than Bernie Sanders, if I have to calculate out the damage that a Bernie Sanders presidency would do versus a Joe Biden presidency, astronomically higher via Bernie.
I love how Joe Biden was both not alive during his presidency, but also an Antifa super soldier. I love how they hold both beliefs at the same time.
Sanders than via Joe Biden, no matter how bad Joe Biden was. I feel the same way about the Democratic Party falling wholesale to the wild left Democratic Socialists. If they do that, yes, there is a lower chance that they will win power anytime soon. However, to pretend that chance doesn't exist is to whistle past the graveyard. Let's say, for example, that the Democratic Party in 2028 right now has a 40% shot of winning the White House with some sort of pseudo-moderate, like a Gavin Newsom or a Wes Moore. And let's say they have a 30% shot of winning the White House with a clear, insane socialist like AOC at the top of the ticket. The damage that would be done by a Wes Moore or a Gavin Newsom, let's say that it's a 7 out of 10. And the damage done by an AOC would be like a 10 out of 10. And well, if I'm just doing the math there, I would rather take the low risk scenario, even if there's a greater risk that person might become president, than take the absolutely disaster apocalyptic scenario of having a Democratic Party controlled by the nut jobs with the still somewhat plausible shot of taking power. This is why the rise of the Zohar Mamdani left is truly, truly troubling. And the people who are fomenting this, I think, ought to be noted here. There's been this sort of bizarre move on the right to treat people who are fellow travelers of the Trump election in 2024 as though they are leaders, thought leaders in conservatism or for the country. And listen, anytime.
Oh, no, you made Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schultz, and Joe Rogan your leaders of conservatism? Holy shit, dude. And you're mad about that? I mean, they won you the election, bro. I mean, they gave Trump hot stone massages, as Kyle Kalinske says. Like, they gave Trump everything. They had the knee pads ready for Trump on these shows. They helped him win by, they really helped him win a lot. They did a lot for him. Now you're mad at them?
You create
How dare you?
Victorious electoral
Maybe
coalition.
Trump should not have lied to them.
Maybe
Trump should have told the truth.
But if you're a new convert to the conservative or Republican cause for one election, I'm not sure that you get to lead the church. You don't get to go directly from the back pews to being the pastor or the priest. And one of the mistakes I think that we make in politics is treating people who are sort of the new converts, because we're excited to have them, as though they ought to be the actual thought leaders. And here I'm calling out some of these so-called manosphere boys, the kind of pod bro boys,
dude.
who are new converts sometimes to
Declare
conservatism.
War on the manosphere.
Who show
Please,
up late
Ben
to the
Shapiro,
party.
do it.
And they bring friends,
Very
and that's great.
smart.
There are lots more friends.
Dude, it really helped the Democrats when they did this, dude. When Democrats went anti-manosphere, it really helped them. Dude, definitely take that position. Please, Ben Shapiro, please.
Party now. But who
Seethe,
probably
mad,
ought not
get
be
mad.
trusted with the future
mad.
of conservatism or be considered actual thought leaders just because they are reacting to the excesses of the left.
Who said he's
because
a thought
sooner
leader?
or later, they end
Andrew
up flipping and
Schultz.
going right back to the left. And
Joe
it
Rogan.
seems as though the answer there is
Thought
sooner.
leaders.
Because, again, it is not coming from any thoroughgoing ideological commitment to conservatism or to conservative principles. It's kind of just reactionary ping-ponging. And you cannot have reactionaries who ping-pong between political positions as the leadership voices of your movement. That would be a dumb
Dude,
thing to
okay,
do.
get to it.
I'm on the
Yell
road
at them.
constantly. Right? I'm covering the news
No, he's gotta
stories,
sell
political
something
events, you name it.
first.
Between the flights and the hotel
Balance
rooms.
of nature?
Sometimes getting
Is he
proper
selling-
nutrition. That's like the first
He's
thing that
selling
goes out the
supplements.
window. Here's the
Awesome,
thing.
dude.
I have a lot of people, there's plenty of ways to get the
That's
nutrients
so
you need
freaking
with balance
cool.
of nature. Head on over. Was featured on a podcast done by the comedian Andrew Schultz.
Sorry.
Yesterday, Zohar Mamdani
Here you go.
was featured on a podcast done by the comedian Andrew Schultz. Now, again, I think Schultz is a funny guy. I think that his specials are quite funny. He's a talented comedian. He and I have some rather large disagreements. But there are a bunch of people who have suddenly deemed Schultz to be sort of an important voice on the quote-unquote conservative side of the aisle. I don't even think Andrew would consider himself to be on the conservative side of the aisle. In fact, I know he doesn't. And so I was not particularly surprised to find him glossing Zohar Mamdani on his show.
Glossing?
Like, a lot.
Wait, glossing? Is glossing a different form of glazing? What is glossing? What's different from glossing and glazing? Isn't glossing more suggestive? Wait,
Here was Zoran.
Glossing
Here
or
was Andrew
glazing?
Schultz basically propping up
Glossing.
Zoran Mamdani, an
I guess
overt
making him look shiny,
socialist
making him look
with jihadist leanings.
spit shine
When I
in
say
him?
jihadist leanings, I mean here that he's
Is
sympathetic
Glossy older?
to jihadists. He is.
He's
Global-
a jihadist. That's so cool, dude. Yeah, just throw that term around. Call him a jihadist terrorist, bro. That's so freaking cool.
Realize the Intifada is a jihadist call. He
He never
refused to
said
say
that.
Hamas should disarm, which, if you care about Palestinians,
never
you should want
commented on
Hamas to
that.
disarm. And he used to rap about freeing the Holy Land Five, who were, in fact, a front
A
group
rap.
for Hamas,
A rap.
as charged by the federal government. He has posed alongside people who are unindicted
A rap.
co-conspirators in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. And here's Andrew Schultz basically
That
glossing
also
it.
was not
because,
proven.
again, I don't think that Andrew Schultz
None
thinks
of
of
this is
himself as a
proven,
deep
by the
political
way.
thinker. So, in my opinion, no one else should, probably.
Zoran has either not commented on this stuff, it was not proven, or he had no knowledge of, like, what Ben Shapiro just said. Like, God. Yeah, he's a jihadist, guys. Dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I also think this idea that like New Yorkers are going to flee because of a 2% increase, it's like, I've been everywhere else. You're not going anywhere. Bill Ackman's not going nowhere. He's going to be in the Hamptons all summer.
One place to write those tweets.
That's it.
New York City.
Exactly.
Okay, bro. Show a longer clip. That showed us nothing.
And you've got the smarmy smile. And again, it's tell the pod
Oh,
bros.
he smiled, dude. Dude, he smiled. How dare he smile? And the pod bros are laughing with him.
With my, he's so hilarious. Oh,
He's so hilarious. How dare they have fun? They can have fun around me.
Here was more of Andrew Schultz really massaging Mamdani.
You really think it's funny, guys?
I don't think anybody's moving, and I honestly feel that way.
You
and
think it's funny I'm like this?
I'm in the tax bracket. We're going to tax more. Like, dude, if you're going to deliver all this for 2%, give it. I'm 100% supportive. It makes life easier for New Yorkers. This is my one identity in my entire life is a New Yorker. It's the thing I care the most about. But what I will say is that I think that there are going to be people in government that are going to try to restrict you from doing that, and I know that you're aware of that.
Okay, first of all, he doesn't have the power to increase state taxes by 2%. And yes, by the way, people who are mobile will move. Historically, they do. I mean, because it's not the 2% increase that's going to...
It's not true. That's not true, by the way. Massachusetts added a wealth tax, and they got more millionaires to live there, and their quality of life got better. Look up New England wealth taxes. Any billionaire who would leave... Okay, any billionaire who would leave over a 1% tax increase or a 2% tax increase on money they make over $1 million, you don't want them decaying your city. Okay, you do not want them ruining your city. They might bring revenue in, but their effect on the city, I guarantee you, is gonna be negative. Challenge them. Leave. Go live in Austin, Texas, bro. If you want to tell people you live in Austin, Texas, and not New York, like, okay, go.
Do it. It's the belief that there is a trajectory of income tax increases that is only going to steepen. I know
Over a
because I
2%
did
increase.
it. I am a person who grew up not
And
rich.
remember, Zoran wants to match the income tax rate of New York State to New Jersey. It's not like this is a 90% top marginal tax increase, okay? This is literally just matching New Jersey's taxes, which is what he's proposing. It's not really crazy what he's saying.
Going to steepen. I know because I did it. I am a person who grew up not rich, and then I made a lot more money. And then the state of California kept trying to take more and more and more of my money. And that was a major factor in me taking my company and moving it to Tennessee, and me personally moving to Florida, both zero state income tax states. The idea that you can incessantly just grab money from people and that at no point will they move, especially when they are the most mobile class in the country, is beyond. I mean, listen, if Schultz wants to pay more cash to the government, he's free to do that. There's a box you can check on your IRS forms that allows you to send more money to the federal government. I assume there's one on the state forms that allows you to send more money to the state government. If Andrew Schultz wants to start a charity where he gives more money so there can be free bus fare in New York, he's free to do that as well. But, you know, this idea that you can change policy with no ramifications for anyone else is sort of bizarre. And again, this goes back to the central point. Andrew's entitled to all of his opinions, obviously. He has a very popular show. He's a popular comedian. To pretend that he's some sort of great shakes politically, at least on the right side of the aisle, he himself would not...
I just don't know who's saying that. Who's saying he's like a leader of the right-wing movement in America?
Andrew would not tell you that he is a thought leader on the right side of the aisle. I keep pointing this out because there are people who try to treat him that way.
Who?
And there are
Who's
people who do the
treating him
same thing with like Tim Dillon or Joe Rogan.
Okay, no. They are not saying these people are thought leaders. What they know is these people are popular with low propensity voters and low educated voters, okay? Low information voters. Not educated. I mean low information, meaning they don't pay attention to the news. I don't blame you, okay? I know smart guys who don't pay attention to the news. They get their news from Theo Von and Joe Rogan, okay? They're smart people. They hear dumb shit. They hear wrong information, so they use their brains with the wrong facts, okay? If you have a healthy animal drink poisoned water, they're going to be poisoned. Okay, they're still drinking water, but they don't know it's poisoned. Okay, so not low educated, but these people watch Theo Von. They like him. They get their political opinions from Theo Von. They vote on that. And MAGA is scared because they need those voters in order to be successful. They need voters that don't look into politics that much so they can do things like Trump making billions of dollars off cryptocurrency. Like Trump taking hundreds of millions of dollars from Qatar and UAE and Saudi Arabia and getting properties in Venezuela and Syria, and in return for dropping sanctions, or Qatar giving them military protections from America, or giving Argentina $40 billion, or screwing over American farmers. They need voters who don't pay attention that much. That's why it's not because Andrew Schultz and Theo Von and Joe Rogan and all these people are like, you know, these super high intelligence people. If they were, they would not be listened to by their audiences. Okay, they would be hated. They'd be called liberal cucks. Okay, but they do get an audience that liberals want, which is the men, young men, and men in general, and men that Democrats have not done messaging to, because Democrats are betas. They are betas. They are through and through betas. I agree. But yeah, that's why people talk about them in such high regard. They need them on their side.
Or a bunch of other people who themselves would tell you they are not on the right. Don't do that if you're on the right. It's silly. It is stupid. The reason that Andrew Schultz moved to the right is because he got tired of the censoriousness of the left.
Yeah, and now the right wing is being more censorious than the left ever was, with official governmental power, not random college kids canceling you on Twitter. Now it's the government. Now right wingers are calling the podcasters dumbasses. So like, you see how quickly the culture can change. That's why Trump is trying to do this his fully authoritarian governmental takeover. No one's calling, guys. I have the phone. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I have the phone lines up. No one's calling.
But anti-left does not make you conservative. And that is important when you're defining which voices get to shape and lead the coalition that is going to be running from the right side of the aisle. Again, here's Andrew Schultz continuing to gloss an open socialist who hates capitalism, Zoran Mamdani.
I'm worried about entrenched politics.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about the people that fund them, because they're the same people that have been fundraising against you.
No.
Okay. And I'm worried about them bending to their whim. And what scares me a little bit is there are going to be people that are incentivized for you to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that pendulum swings all the way the other way, how many more people get hurt? And I guess my question is, like, do you ever worry about that? Or do you have to be so blinders on?
Wow. I mean, tough questions there. Tough questions. Again, my point here is not that Andrew Schultz needs to be some sort of right winger. He isn't. So people should stop treating him like that, because he isn't one.
Are you just calling him dumb then? He's not. Okay, and I've said this. I've said this before when talking about Ben Shapiro videos and reacting to them. He doesn't respond to anything. Last time I watched his video, I recognized the same pattern. Has he responded to one point that Zoran or Andrew Schultz said? Like, Ben Shapiro just legitimately spent this whole video, 10 minutes, calling podcasters dumb and Andrew Schultz dumb. He didn't even make an attempt to make an argument. Like, can we, in chat, can you name one argument Ben Shapiro made other than saying, I don't like these people, they're jihadists? Did he respond to one point in the videos, or did he just show clips like, huh, you guys think it's so funny, huh? You guys think it's so funny. Well, it's not funny. Like, that's all he did. That's all he did. He just scolded them. Okay, Mom. Thanks. Hi, this is the YouTube Politics Show. Okay, someone call in. I saw someone call. You can call again. Okay. Call or gay. Call or gay. You saw it in chat, guys. If you don't call, you're gay. I might have to go to bed early tonight, guys. I don't know. I don't know if there's any other videos I feel like doing a reaction to. I hate making videos on YouTube. I hate it. I don't even like it. It's dumb. Oh wait, Mom Donnie responded to. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Someone just called and I X'd out the button because I didn't realize they'd be calling. And I saw a video of Zoran responding to JD Vance. I'm sorry. Call back in. I just hung up on you, person.
What are you doing, you bastard guy? You don't know anything of Trump. You don't know anything about anything. Fuck you. I'm going to hack you. I'm going to hack your fucking shit, you bastard guy. Fuck you. You know.
That's a white guy.
Call from.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I could hear you. Who am I speaking with?
This is Robert.
Hello, how's it going?
Oh, is this
It's
Jola?
the YouTube thing.
Jola?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
your
yeah.
topic?
Sorry. I should have said that. Yeah, yeah. It's Domino's. Hello?
Oh, okay, yeah. Dude, there's like a 10-second lag, so I'm trying to watch it at the same
Well,
time.
pause my stream and talk to me on the phone.
The stream? I was like watching like 5 minutes of it.
No, I mean like, how am I lagged for the Google Voice or on the phone?
Yeah.
Well, how do we fix
Dude, it's
that?
weird. It's like I'm talking to you in real time, and then I'm watching the video like 5 seconds later.
Well, pause the video.
Okay, hold up. Alright, X'd out on it. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. Hey, what's up, man?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was actually just watching the last 5 minutes of it, but yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the Tim Dillon one. Did you watch it?
No, I saw Tim Dillon basically say like, Trump only cares about Israel and Trump only cares about other like Argentina and other issues. He's not really America first. I think Tim Dillon said that recently.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't watch it, so I assumed that he was gonna say something like that, so I wasn't. I'm not really too surprised, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, things are rather, I feel like things have like slowed down a little bit since the second like protest. So I wasn't sure if there was gonna be like a third one.
Well, it's only been like a week, and right now Trump is sending aircraft carriers to Venezuelan waters, or international waters outside of Venezuela, and we're considering doing airstrikes into Venezuela to start a war with Venezuela, and we attacked Colombian like civilians. We've been just like murdering people all across international waters in South America and Central America. So that's happening. Trump
And
is
that's past week.
tearing down the White House. Like a bunch of crazy stuff's happening.
Oh man. Yeah. How long have you been doing the show?
In its current form, like a year. I did it before in 2020, but I took a 4-year break.
How'd you need like a certain amount of followers to do live streams, right?
I think it's only like 100.
Damn. Yeah. I was trying to do that before, but I never like got the chance to kind of like explore that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Go start a TikTok. Do you have anything you
Yeah.
want to debate, or you just want to call in?
Oh, I mean, I feel like we're probably on the same page. I mean, I'm trying to like cut down on watching Joe Rogan. I've been watching him for, 5 years or whatever. So I'm kind of like stuck in that. It was funny, like earlier this year, I was like noticing that I'm like stuck in like the Joe Rogan bubble or whatever,
Mhm.
and I was like trying to get out, but I had no clue how to like start over or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because a lot of the entertainment is going to be similar to Joe Rogan, but he's probably the worst. I think he's a really dishonest and bad person now. I changed my mind on him. He's just so unfair to people he doesn't like. It's just kind of, it's really crazy. He'll like criticize Trump for something, and then realize no. I mean, sorry. He'll criticize Democrats for something, and realize Trump actually did it, and then no longer criticize anybody because like Trump doesn't get any. It's just really, I don't know. He's slimy.
You mean like off air or like just like
On
from
air,
one
on his
podcast to
podcast.
the next?
Like the other day,
Yeah.
he said that Gavin Newsom is a disgusting psychopath because he like loosened a regulation surrounding forever chemicals or pollutants in the water. And like he said Gavin Newsom was irredeemable and a psychopath as a result. And Trump did the biggest the biggest deregulation on companies that are poisoning our water in American history, and Joe Rogan said nothing about that whatsoever. So like he really just takes it, and or the Epstein file stuff like that. Like Trump is blocking the Epstein files, and Joe Rogan just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, that is weird because it's like who gets to decide to I mean I'm guessing the files are already like they've been prepared, so it's like I don't know, it makes no sense, but yeah, and I didn't hear about the Gavin Newsom thing though, because there's like I guess a lot of companies that based out there, they have what the regulations. You said they were lowered or they were eliminated for the chemicals for dumping chemicals.
I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that Rogan doesn't criticize Trump at all, no matter what he does. He refuses to say Trump's name is bad. But hey man, if you get something to debate ever, definitely feel free to call back in. I appreciate the call though.
Sure, yeah, no worries. Yeah, have a good one.
All right, have a good one, man. Good night, man. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Whoa. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Donate to Drolla Politics on Cash App or Venmo. Guys, I might call it early tonight. I might call it early. I had a busy day, and I didn't get on here till late. So I might just have to call it early, get some sleep, recharge. I have to drive tomorrow morning, so I might just hop off for a little bit for tonight. It took the strength out of me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be able to stream for longer though, a little bit earlier.
I work for McDonald's. She was working there. Period. Done.
I love the Kamala Harris McDonald's conspiracy. People call in and they say they're a McDonald's expert and they know she worked there, and then they'll call in and say they're a McDonald's expert and they know she did not work there. It's just so dumb.
Hello?
Hi, this is Drolla Politics. What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing alright. How are you?
Good, good. I was just watching your show. I just wanted to see how you were doing.
I'm alright.
All right, all right. I wanted to ask, what's it like doing that kind of show?
Tiring.
Yeah, I would imagine it can be pretty tiring at times. What would you say is like one of the biggest difficulties you have?
I have a busy actual life, so I don't have all day to focus on the media and to read stuff. Be ready for the conversations all the time, so it could be stressful. And talking to people is draining about politics, and I talk to people every night about politics, pretty much.
Well, I don't know. Think about Hitler. You got to do it for the love of the game. You got to enjoy convincing people. You got to enjoy seeing that reaction, having a passionate speech that you really care about.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my time back in college because I assume we're both liberal. What is it? Are you familiar with African American studies?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was taking this African American studies course in college, and it was telling me a lot of important things about Rosa Parks that I think you should know. But I was talking to this course about my one guy, and he asked me like, "What course are you taking?" And I said,
Haha, I muted you before you said it. I knew you were gonna say it. You're a bad troll. I muted you right before you said it. Dumbass. Haha. Haha, dude, I knew it. Look at that tactical mute. Alright, guys, and that's why I'm going to bed. Have a good night, guys. I knew it. I knew it. I got him, too. I got him. Holy shit, insane timing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I felt it coming. I felt it. Alright, we'll get back at it tomorrow. Oh, boy.
Check.
Gunther. I'm sorry, black people being dancers with.
Yo, I'm sorry. You could call. Wait, what the hell? I will get some rest. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Join Discord if you want to chat. Discord's in my description. I'll drop Discord in the chat as well. But yeah, join Discord. Yeah. Here you go. Here's Discord. LOL. Okay, have a good night. Yeah, I didn't get on today till midnight, so it's tough. I wanted to be on earlier, but I had to do stuff. So I got home late. Alright, see you guys. No dancing toothless meme. No. Bad.